I want to talk about my plan for Pokemon for the remainder of 2026 right now. Basically, the market's going crazy. What I expect to probably happen, and again, there's people that have been in this market a much longer time than I have, so they probably have, they might have more informed opinions. I've been doing this since January 2024, got super into it, had my collection that I probably invested a total of 15 to 20K over the last, again, keep in mind, around 3 years, has now grown to a collection worth over 120K, closing in on 130. So I do have, some good solid base knowledge of how the card market works and everything like that. But I will say that my plan, because I'm not planning on sitting on this bag for the rest of my life. I'm not planning on, going down with the ship if anything ever happens to Pokemon. Not that I think it would. I do think that there's definitely going to be some market corrections. I definitely think that we're going to have some post-pandemic drops that will happen, which I'm hoping for. Not yet, but I predict that what's going to happen is after the 30th anniversary, we're going to see a pretty decent sized drop. Pokemon's a fucking titan, as far as a company goes. It is quite honestly only growing. Like the grading of cards is only growing. The hobby itself is only growing. Like people that are my age finally have money, and that's just going to continue because Pokemon sucked in a bunch of other generations, after me and mine. And so, it's going to go on for a while. There's just going to be, new kings in town as far as like which Pokemon are the most popular and things like that. But there will be a market correction. I have a very, very, very strong feeling that there will be some sort of market correction between now and October when they do the giant crazy release. It's in September, October. So be expecting that. Like if you just got into the market and all of your shit drops like crazy, don't start freaking out and selling it. Like hold on to it. Like it's if you're in the hobby for the collection side of things, like I was initially, and I still am in a lot of ways. I still have my personal collection, things like that I like. But for me, I'm gonna plan on offloading sections and chunks of my collection from now until the 30th anniversary. Once I cash everything out, I'm not gonna sell everything. I'm gonna sell it, in lots, so to speak, over time. And once I hit a certain threshold of income from selling it, and I've made a good chunk of profit, I'm gonna sit on a chunk of it and sit on it and wait and see what happens. Just because you never know if things continue to go even crazier. That kind of thing could really happen, but it's nothing certain, right? I was in crypto for a little bit, and so it's definitely giving me a lot of similar eerie feelings of some of the market crashes that happened with crypto that I unfortunately was a part of. It's okay. Like I ended up making back pretty much all the money that I had unrealized. Like I'd made money from it, but I could have made way fucking more that I didn't sell, and because of that, like I ended up temporarily losing a decent amount of money. I'm talking, I put maybe 2 or 3K into crypto, and then it shot up to 10 or 18K, and ended up holding and not selling until it went all the way fucking down to 2K. And then it went back up, and I ended up selling everything whenever, I was sitting in profit finally after, years and years and years. And I don't want that to happen again. I'm not going to be left holding the bag with my Pokemon cards, all my Pokemon cards. At the end of the day, this is a really good opportunity for me and my family to make a lot of money that we could put into other investments and or pay off a giant chunk of our house kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But there will be very likely there will be a correction in the summer. When that happens, don't freak out. If you're like me and you've been in it for a little bit, think about offloading some of your cards that you're okay with letting go, and realize that, you're likely going to have better buying opportunities later to get some of those things back at a pretty, steep discount. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is just me observing the hobby that I've been a part of for a while. Me being a part of other investing, sections in the past and present. I am a small business owner, and I've been running that for like over 6 years now. So I'm a little bit more experienced than your average person is in regards to all that. But I don't think I'm going to do a ton of like market evaluation type of stuff on this channel, because that's I like it, but that's not what I want this account to be like entirely. So I might do it every like month or something like that. But if you are thinking about selling some stuff off, now's not a bad time. I've been sitting on my Bubble Mew in a PSA 10 that I got for a hot minute now. I almost sold it for $900 last fall. I'm really glad I didn't. And because I was like, I know it's going to go up. And my wife was just like, just hold on to it then. Like, don't worry about selling it. And I was like, okay. And lo and behold, it shot up to 2K. And I was like, okay, maybe I should. And I was like, but you could just feel the energy behind Pokemon when that was going on. And I'm glad I didn't again. And I've had people offer me 3K cash offers for it. I'm just like, nope, sorry. I've had it at 3,500, and now I got it set at like 3,800 if anyone wants to buy it. But like, it just keeps going up. I'll do some predictions on some cards here in the future, but that Bubble Me is going crazy, man. I would not be surprised, just because the amount of hype behind it, that it could very well be going kind of like the same pattern as the Lovebirds, the Latios and Latios tag team alt art from what the heck is that called? Team Up, right? So yeah, I mean, I could see it following the same course. I could see the card going up to 4.5 to 5K coming into the giant release for the 30th anniversary this fall. So I'm kind of like, sitting on it. Another card that I'm sitting on right now is I have a Shining Celebi. It's not a first edition, but I got it, and it's a PSA 7, I think. That card's been going up, and since they recently, like, officially / unofficially released what some of the cards are going to be for the 30th anniversary release that's coming up, that Shining Celebi is one of them. So I'm sitting on that thing. I'm probably going to be picking up some more over time once I get a little bit more liquid cash going on. But I bought a Chinese Bubble Mew and the equivalent of a PSA 10 from a Chinese grading company that is actually used over in China to help combat fake PSA slabs. So I know it's legit, and it has authenticity guaranteed. But besides another one too, I bought that for $200. It's up to a couple $100 now at this point. Like, there's just a lot of opportunities, but you got to buy what other people aren't buying. Like, that's the thing, is like, whenever certain things are slow or kind of boring, as long as it just doesn't like suck ass like Burning Shadows or something, or Steam Siege, it will go up eventually. It's all in rotation, right? All in rotation. Like, vintage has been slow, super slow. It has been very slow, unless it's like, again, a PSA 10, like Shadowless something or other. Like true vintage, like base set and stuff, slow. Like, people love modern right now. It's what people are hyped about. But at some point, vintage will probably spike again. I know e-readers and holos and like the Crystal Lugia is going to be reappearing, I think, in the newest set. So there's a really, really good chance like some of those cards are going to be, going up. Like, I know they're redoing like the base set Pika. Like, people are going to want and be like, oh shit, like I want to get a base set Pika. Like, that could be something that you could get a bunch of for, I don't know what it's going for right now off the top of my head, but like, like less than $5, less than $10 per old school Pikachu. Like, scoop up a bunch of those. I bet your ass it's going to at least do a 1.5 or a 2x between now and then, or right after they do the release. So I don't know. I know this is long-winded. I kind of got off track. I just like talking about this shit. But I will say that my game plan is to sell over time. I download a really great way to go about it, and I think a healthy way of using AI that isn't like, too wasteful, right? Is financial planning to a degree. Like, I inputted my CSV file of all the cards I've logged, everything that I have into there, and I basically told it my game plan. I asked what would be a good strategy. It told me sell these ones off from here to here, sell these ones off from here to there, and go about it that way. That's the way to maximize profit, whether it's through I did like an eBay option only, Facebook Marketplace option only, / like vendor, vendor shows and stuff. And then like a hybrid model, like if I kind of went both routes, what should I try to sell on eBay versus what should I try to sell in person kind of deal. yeah, that's how I go about it. That's how I'm going about it. I think that it is a good time to sell, like pretty much no matter what, as long as you bought anything within the last like, year. Like any time is a good time. If you're making profit, don't get caught left holding the bag at the top because you think it's just going to keep going higher, because one day it won't for a while, and then it will eventually again go up, like with anything like stock markets and everything like that. But that's how I'm going about it, and I think that that's a pretty solid strategy. And again, not financial advice, just me telling you what I'm planning on doing with my own collection. You do with what you will with that information. As always, this is for like entertainment purposes only. But I don't know. It's just a weird place to be right now in the Pokemon space, and I am super grateful that I get to be a part of it, in the sense that I get to be a part of it. But nothing lasts forever. If it's too good to be true, it probably is, or it will be eventually. So, keep that in mind. Hold a little from the crypto space. Hold a moon bag, right, of some stuff that you think is, that will retain value, even if there is a big crash or a big market correction. You want to try to get like correction proof assets, right, or cards and things like that. Sealed is typically not a bad idea. Modern sealed is iffy to a degree, but like old school sealed, like it's pretty stable. Anyways, I've talked enough. Sorry that anybody that's still here listening for the last like 12 minutes. But I appreciate you for watching. I hope you got value from this. But yeah, what is your current game plan when it comes to selling your cards and offloading anything from your collection, or you just buy, you're like, I'm gonna keep it going, all in until things explode. So have a good